What's going on, everybody? Fusebox here, putting the spotlight on another pretty amazing champ. I'm going to be careful on how I sell this guy because he is a cool champ. The question is it somebody that you want to push early in the game or not? We'll go over some good and some bad about him, but he's definitely got some spots where he's top notch. SOULLESS, another Void Affinity Lego champion, and he's a tough dude. He looks tough, looks cool. There's not a lot out there on this guy, so let's talk about what might be considered not so great and what is considered amazing on this guy, or at least in my opinion. And let's just start real quick with my build is not perfect or great. I've got a little over 4k defense. He's defense based. I have decent crit damage. My crit should be higher. My accuracy is actually pretty good for showing him off, because it turns out he's super good in the arena. So he could be built bigger. Keep that in mind. But he's definitely going to be able to show off still with what we got. So let's start with the first pro. He is Void Affinity. Can't beat that. No weaknesses. That's a super good thing. Probably the first biggest negative, that base speed. 87. That's like a bad rare. Maybe this guy's just been around for a while and they've never really kind of updated him or something. That if it was 97, I could deal with him as being a slower champion for a legendary. But that little bit of speed makes a huge difference when it comes to the impact of putting gear on him. So he's slow. Everything else is solid. He's got solid HP, solid defense. They even tried to give him solid attack. I don't know why. But now his skill kit gets interesting. It's really not a bad skill kit. He's got A1 with a 35% chance unbooked of stunning, and that goes up to a 50% chance. It does decent damage, nothing to write home about, but a chance to stun on A1, a 50% chance is always good. His A2, it's got some what ifs in it, but it is still solid. He attacks 3 times. It does not hit very hard. That's probably one of the bummers about his A2, but the utility's there. Attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 75% chance or 100 booked, so it could be a guarantee to remove a buff. That's good. Places a provoke for 1 turn if a buff is removed. Now, I want to test this because I think this places provoke even if a buff is not removed. And if that's true, he's a little bit better than what you read. But if not, then it's kind of a bummer move. It still is usable. If you're up against Skullcrown, she puts up unkillable. You've already nuked down the team with his A3. Let's get into his A3 first. The A3 is a godlike attack, top 15% in the game, hits very hard, hits all enemies, increases the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn, places provoke on the entire team, puts a shield, and this is a massive shield because he hits so hard, for 30% of all that damage on himself. And then increases his damage by 10% per debuff. So real quick, I'll go ahead and touch on something. If he were in Clan Boss, and he's so slow, it would take so much work to make use out of this guy. This is even booked, is still a 4-turn cooldown. I wish this was a 3-turn cooldown. But you'd have to get him going 4 to 3, 4 moves for every 3 of the Clan Boss, to use this once per cycle to increase the duration of all those debuffs by 1. And it would be really cool to see how much damage this move does with a 100% increase in damage. I really would not suggest. I'm sure it could be done, but the effort it would take to put this guy into a Clan Boss team and then every 3 turns actually increase the duration of all those debuffs, I don't think you're going to get enough out of him in the end to actually constitute doing that. Though with that big shield from this, he could maybe be the stun target, but yeah, I'm not advocating for it. But definitely some interesting stuff in here if you stack him against like a Clan Boss with 10 debuffs. But what this move really does is it smacks all the enemies, smacks them around, It places a provoke. Anything he doesn't kill, he's going to provoke for 1 turn. I wish that was, 1 turn short, but he does have another chance to provoke here. The shield is incredible during that provoke. He's protected very well, and he can increase their duration of debuffs, and his damage does increase per debuff. This move is amazing, absolutely amazing. Back to the A2. If you're up against Skull Crown after that move, and she's unkillable, he can just remove that and kill her. If there's somebody, if you make it to the second round of Arena, you can pick who you want to remove a buff from. You can then it will provoke that enemy, and typically in Arena everybody is buffed or debuffed. So the 2 random hits, I don't like the randomness, but there is a chance to hit 2 other enemies, put provoke up if you remove that debuff. And I do want to see real quick. Also his aura, absolutely just sick. 44% defense for faction crypts, and he is definitely amazing in the faction crypts. He helped. There are a lot of great characters for the Night Revenants, and he definitely helped me climb straight to 20 and farm it. He's a super good champ for faction wars. Arena, absolutely amazing. He didn't impress me on progression like I thought he would, but we'll take him a couple places and see what he's really good at, what he's not, and you'll have to make up your mind. Is this the next guy you want to go for, or would you rather have a good support champion or a better control champion, or a debuffer? That's a call you always have to make for yourself. I'm not trying to oversell this guy, but I don't want to undersell him. He's definitely a cool champ. So we'll real quick look at my masteries. Plenty of ways to build this guy. Plenty. He's really good in Arena. I built him out for trying to have utility everywhere, and he does have some, but in the end he hits hard enough to constitute going straight down for Helm Smasher. So I took my crit damage. I took Life Drinker. As slow as he is, it might have been a good idea to take Whirlwind of Death, speed him up as he kills people, because he can kill people. But in the end, I took some utility, and then especially unbooked, I took Cycle of Violence, trying to get back to that A3. He's really all about that amazing A3. Extra damage here, Helm Smasher. Pretty straightforward. Now over here, I started with taking my accuracy with charged focus, but I shot over to increase that shield. That shield is amazing. I also took Healing Savior. If he's under 40%, the shield's even bigger. I did take Arcane Celerity because I'm trying to increase that turn meter every time that 1 turn provoke wears off, getting back to the A3. Lore of Steel, more stats from his sets, and then Cycle of Magic, the same idea. I want to get back to that A3. And then I did take Lasting Gifts so that his shield will last an extra round for me. That shield coming from this is a 2 turn, so it's a 4 turn cooldown even booked, so I wouldn't mind that lasting for 3 rounds. Let's real quick just kind of see the guy in action. Let's just throw him in and see the kind of damage he does. And I want to test that A2 because I think I've seen it. Oh, alright, so there's his A1. He did that without question. Definitely hits hard. It kills everybody. So this random 3-hitter, it does put up provoke. How is it worded here? It says places a provoke debuff for 1 turn if a buff is removed. But you just saw it, right? So this is kind of a game changer. If you're reading his kit, you're thinking through normal content. He's got a 1 turn provoke on his A3. Amazing move, no doubt about it. He's got a decent A1. Hits fairly hard. Can put a stun out, but you're thinking, well, this if it's random, if it doesn't remove a buff, it does him no good. It actually puts up provoke on possibly 3 enemies. So let's not check it here. Let's go to the next one. The way it reads, it places provoke for 1 turn if a buff is removed. But there you see 3 provokes are put up. So that's definitely a cool thing. Worth noting. It's not the way it reads. I actually made this video. I'm remaking it right now because when I found that out, it seems really important to me. Reign of Terror, that's exactly what it is. Reign of Terror. So, you know, that's what you got. You got a solid champ. And now that I'm confirmed that he does provoke on his A2, he just shot up in stock. No doubt about that. He is a little bit better than what he reads. So I may be selling him a little bit harder now. So where is he great? Arena. Faction Wars is not up right now, the Night Revenant, but he is absolutely amazing in there. I promise you that. You can read his kit and you know he's going to be good in there. But Arena, he surprised me. This is probably his strongest place. I'm really wanting to look for like a tanky... oh, here's a perfect example of everything he can do. How do we do this? Alright, this is what we want to do. He's going to be our nuker. We're going to speed into speed, debuff the team. He's the only nuker we're bringing. He's very good at that job. If Skull Crown puts up Unkillable, we'll get to see some more of what he can do. So here's what's absolutely brilliant about Soulless. Let's get around to him. Let's speed up. Anybody that we need to provoke, just in case they try to boost, didn't get it, we're going to debuff the team. Alright, so here we go. We've debuffed them, everything that you want to do typically, and then you want to hit them hard with a nuker. He does that well. Amazing damage. What he does not kill, this is a really good showcase. What he does not kill, you don't have to worry about. They're provoked. We can't take a freeze from her crazy move that freezes our team. She may freeze me with her A1, but not the team. We're not going to have to deal with heals from Sinesha. She's now provoked. Now, when we get back around to him, let's try to get back around to him. Hope he doesn't get frozen here. Alright, we're good to go. Well, okay, so he would have had options on his next move, but she took her turn. He could have stripped that buff and wiped her. How do we do this without... he's not going to get another turn, or not much of one. So there, you see how he can be a nuker, and on top of being... man, these teams these days, I'm telling you. No more Skull Crowns, huh? But we'll just try out another team and show him off a little more. Basically get back around to him. Always try to provoke that speed booster. But in the end, and remember, the more debuffs you land, the better he's gonna hit. So you could really set this up with a couple of debuffers. Those were even weak. They weren't even crits, and he wiped them out. He's a super strong dude. Do we have a real tanky team? No, that's not. We don't really have a whole lot. To go up against here. But here's one you wouldn't want getting away from us. Without a doubt, we'd be in trouble if we let Roto start taking off on us. So let's not let them boost. We didn't get it. Debuff everybody. We actually did. So here's where we need everybody to die or be provoked one. They must have a lot of resistance on that high Katoon. But we had a provoke up. Let's see. Let's get rid of that speed. Or try it. Let's take it down anyway. Yeah, we're not even going to make it back around to him because he hit so hard that first round. But if you were going around, if we had a tougher team to go against here, you know that we would be going straight into another 3-hitter with provoke on it. He could cleanse buffs with that same move. He could stun with his A1. He's absolutely brilliant when it comes to Arena. Now, I guess in the end, the issue is, where do you want to take him next? You know, I mean, like, if you're just needing... If he were booked out, it'd be easier to show him through some of these places. It doesn't much matter where we go. I ran him in here. Yeah, I ran him in here, and it's just fine for showing him off. we'll slow it down just for a minute and watch everybody go. But you know, what utility do you really get? Like on the second wave, if he threw that move out on the second wave, you could provoke both of those hounds there and kind of keep yourself protected from that reflect damage. So there's definitely utility there. Without being booked, it's going to take a while to get back around to it. So we did provoke one of them with the A2 that should not provoke unless you're stripping buffs. I think it's super important that everybody knows that his kit is worded incorrectly, because the second chance to provoke changes everything. It changes everything. So let's speed this up. Matter of fact, he's not. What will he bring on the boss? He'll actually control the ads with provoke. If we don't get a stun on him, we've got a provoke chance, and he'll bring big damage on an AOE scale, and he can stun with his A1 as well. So that's all we're gonna get out of him. Let's see, he's coming up after Stag. I didn't actually catch if he put that stun down or not. I think it was already there. But he's got a chance every A1 to do that. There we've got provoke up. A nice big hit too on the boss and the ad. And I mean, you know, I suppose knowing that A2 works that way, he would be a little better for progression. See, on progression, I like better than a one-turn cooldown on the provoke, but having an A2 right behind it that provokes again, I don't know, it's not that bad. And let's watch his shield. I haven't been bragging on his shield. Well, it's going to do better when we're up against a full wave, so we'll get out of here and then we'll go somewhere else. I'll come back at the end of this. We'll look at his damage. Alright, so we're one good... Ooh, wow, that went south. That went south fast. I was going to say we're one good move away from beating this guy, but... Ouch, man. There we go. Alright, so how did he end up? Up against... now my seal is ridiculously fast and relentless. Royal Guard clearly does max HP damage. Stag Knight would be a comparable comparison, and Alton hits strong on all of his moves, so he did outmatch both of them. You know, he's solid damage, like really decent damage. Most of it coming from that A3, to be honest. The A1 hits strong, but it's a single target A1. No, I'd say it hits okay. His A2 is actually pretty weak, but the utility on those, now A3, top tier hit. You know, wherever you take him, you could run into Doom Tower, and it's all going to kind of be the same, to be honest. We'd have to go somewhere. Haven't done any of this yet. We'd have to take him somewhere that we could actually who do we want in here? A couple of debuffers. I'm gonna put up a lot of debuffs. That might help his damage out. And let's take this off auto and see if we go through hard mode with a couple of utility moves. Let's see, we want to put out debuffs everywhere. More debuffs. More debuffs. Now we're going to take that big hit. Watch this shield. Look at that. And it's all from that huge damage that he got that. And now we'll just go back around and try to finish these guys out. They're all provoked towards that big shield. That's a cool move without a doubt. Now we'll just start going through. Anybody I can kill? Don't think so. Almost. Alright, so here we can put up more provokes on a random base, but we got them on two champs worth putting them on. And every time you put up provoke, they're locked into their A1. It's really, provoke is a great control utility move. So if you were struggling here, there's without question he's gonna be able to help your team, especially if they start putting up a lot of buffs. He'll really be able to show off. removing important buffs like unkillable. See, now I need those books that cooldown so long, but we can try to stun somebody. We got a stun. Hey, not bad. So I mean, you know, let's see if we can't auto through this now. Other than I'll take it off if there's a good chance to remove an important buff. He's gonna do absolutely great damage with his A3. Will it add up enough to somebody like you know, Elder Skarg or even Zargala, who has a 3-hitter and all of her other hits hit very hard too? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see if it actually plays out. We could, with that random attack, we could accidentally take off that veil, but there's no point in taking a random chance at removing that buff. We won't be able to target it. So we're just gonna let this play through. And I mean, it's kind of a neat team, really. Lots of control with fears and provokes, but you could throw him in on a team and he's gonna help the team out. Without question, he's gonna help. So he might actually be a little better. How do we he topped out the damage? No, well, okay, no, Zargala with those extra hits and stuff, she's pretty amazing. He's a good champ. He's amazing in arena. He's great in faction wars. I would almost like to see somebody take the time to put him on a clan boss team. I do not think he needs to be on a clan boss team, but those mechanics would make that A3 so amazing to watch. Doom Tower, just like faction wars, I could see him being a huge help. You don't have to worry about affinity. If you pull him early, I don't see him being an issue carrying you through waves. He's going to provoke and then provoke again and then stun, and he would be much more effective with those books. So let's leave it with this. The guy, and again, I showed you my build. He could be stronger. This guy is, first, it's important to know he's more than what they say. The A2 is just not worded right. We proved it right here. He doesn't have to remove a buff to place provoke. He guarantees a placement of provoke. So the rest is just buff removal. The books on the A3 would be so important. Getting this to 100% would just guarantee the buff removal. I'm telling you, the provoke is a guarantee apparently already, but to remove buffs on every hit, it'd be worth booking. Getting this to a 50% chance, if you're using this guy, I say he's worth booking. And if you want to build this guy out, or when you want to build him out, he's worth building. I don't know if he's the first choice. You know, do you need a better support character, a better control character? You may have, you know, a different debuffer to get through content. You have to make that call for yourself. But once you build him, I think he's worth the books. This is amazing in faction wars. Reign of Terror, man, that alone makes him a great hero. But in arena, he's your nuker. If he doesn't kill him, he's gonna control him, put the provoke up. He can remove unkillable. He can do a lot of things for you. He's absolutely a brilliant champion for arena, and very useful everywhere else. I like the guy. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you have him? How much do you like him? I find myself not using him very often, to be honest. He's good in arena though, without a doubt. I wouldn't at all be worried about bringing him into an arena team. But yeah, let me know. What did you guys get out of him? Did anybody get him during their progression? That's what I'm trying not to oversell. I think he would help for progression, but I can't. You know, you got a couple of moves with one turn provokes. You know, is he as good as Molly Tankard? I don't think so, but I think he's good, and I definitely like him. And once you build him out, you're gonna have tons of fun. He's definitely worth building. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what's going on in your world. Leave me any comments you want, and hopefully I'll be back with another one soon. Until next time, guys, enjoy the grind.